In a small town in the Eastern Cape, there was a mental asylum for people who are mentally disturbed. And in front of the main gate of this mental asylum, there's a bus stop. Now, this is where the story starts. There was a man who was standing at the bus stop, waiting for a bus. He kept on looking at his watch because the bus was late and he needed to get home. As he was standing there, from time to time glancing at his watch, as most people do when they are in a hurry and they're waiting for something, somebody came out of the front door of the mental asylum, slamming the door behind them, and started running towards the gate. And of course, when the door was slammed, that caught the attention of the man who was standing at the bus stop. He turned around and he saw this person coming towards the main gate. And this guy was running very fast, at top speed. The person coming out of the mental asylum got to the front gate, kicked it open, and it swung open, and he came running straight to the guy waiting at the bus stop. And he had his eyes fixed on him. You could even say he was running like a madman. After all, he was coming out of a mental asylum. He came running straight to the person waiting at the bus stop. And when he was about 5 or 6 steps away, the guy at the bus stop realized that this guy must be mad and he's coming straight for me. And at that moment, he started running away from this supposedly madman. And he started running. And every time he would look back over his shoulder, the madman was there, still running after him. He ran, ducked into corners, into alleys, and every time he would look over his shoulder, the guy was there. Jumping over fences, the guy was still running after him. At some moments, it would seem like the madman was catching up, and then he would muster some strength from deep within him, and he would get another kick of adrenaline from God knows where, and he would pick up his pace. And every time again he would look over his shoulder, this madman was still running behind him. This went on for what other people might call like a marathon. The sun set, and it was dusk. And as the light was fading, and this guy was feeling very tired, he thought to himself, if I continue running, I'm going to pass out from fatigue. Let me just stop and let this madman do whatever he wants to do, because I'm going to die anyway from fatigue. I can't run anymore. He ducked around a corner and then he stopped, panting, trying to catch his breath. And as he was straightening himself up, the madman came around the corner and finally caught up with him. The madman, also out of breath, stood in front of the guy who was at the bus stop. And he said to him, "What time is it?" The guy at the bus stop said, "You were chasing me all this time to ask me what time it is." The madman said, "You see, I was out playing at the back, and supper is usually at 6 there, but I don't have my watch on me. So when I saw you looking at your watch, I just wanted you to tell me what time it was. I was in a hurry because I didn't want to miss supper, and they were serving my favorite food. It's Friday today. They always serve fried fish, and I love fried fish. So I just wanted to know what time it is. What is the time?" The guy didn't even look at his watch. And he said, "But why were you chasing me?" The madman said, "I wasn't chasing you. You were running away." The moral of the story is, you're only chased when you run away. It is when you run that something chases you, whatever that might be. Because if you stand still, then it's not chasing you. You could say that it's approaching you at a very high speed, but the chase only happens when you run. So if you ever feel like you're being chased by something or by someone, you must know and understand and accept that you are responsible for the chase. You are the one who's running away from that which is approaching you. As a result, you are the one who's responsible for being chased. The madman was told what time it was, and he turned around and he walked back to the mental asylum. And as he was walking away, the guy at the bus stop, who was at the bus stop earlier, finally caught his breath and he said, "Hey, what's your name?" And the madman looked back over his shoulder and he said, "My name is Nyaniso." Nyaniso. It's a Xhosa name. If you don't understand the language, go and look up what his name means.